Plus, in the horizon, Frankie Lovato Jr. will be joining us.
Welcome to Frankie Lovato's 365 Days of Racing Terminology. This series is for you, the fans, and in support of Jockey World's mission to improve, promote, and provide more education, health, and safety into the world of horse racing.
This is Frankie Lovato with today's term, number 349 of 365, turn of foot. When you hear someone use the phrase turn of foot in horse racing, they're talking about the acceleration a horse may show during a race. A horse that has a good turn of foot is a horse that has the ability to speed up at the very moment the jockey asks for forward response. If someone were to say that a horse does not have a good turn of foot, it does not mean that they are not a great racehorse. It just means they need more time to get into gear.
Welcome back, Race Day America. Millie Ball, Peter Lurie, and what you're watching is part of the website known as Jockey World, and we are very fortunate to have with us, by way of the phone, good friend of HRTV and Race Day America. He's the creator and executive director of Jockey World. He was also, you might remember, a 1980 Eclipse Award-winning apprentice jockey, and he is the creator of the Equicizer. Is there anything he doesn't do? He's got a jockey school. He's a good friend. Frankie Lovato Jr. Frankie, welcome to Race Day.
Thank you so much, Pete, Millie. Thanks for having me on.
Well, the pleasure is all ours, sir. Now, just to take our viewers back to April of this year, I think I was out on the road somewhere, but I believe Joanne Jones and our own Becky Witzman was on with you. You had started at the beginning of the year on Jockey World a goal of getting the viewers, the listeners, the fans, 365 terms used by jockeys to kind of educate them on the racing world. How's that going so far?
Well, it's actually it's for all race fans. Jockey World, one of the things that the basis of why I created it was helping kids get started in the industry that want to work in the industry. And mostly they come to me when they want to be jockeys. And a lot of people, of course, when they're younger, they want to be jockeys. But it reaches out to all fans, all ages. But with Jockey World, it's the kind of thing where I came up with this idea. I needed to get some more attention. What my goal is, my mission is with Jockey World, and Jockey World is a nonprofit organization that I created to offer fan education, and that's of all ages. So I came up with this idea. I wanted to get some attention, and I thought, well, I wrote long story, but I wrote a terminology booklet a few years back, pocket size. You can put it in your pocket, go to the races. If you ever hear someone say a word that you didn't understand or a phrase, you can open up the terminology booklet and you could probably find it. But I wanted to bring it to life, and I wanted to gain attention for Jockey World, my organization. So I thought, well, this will get someone's attention, So I decided what I would do is I would create and dedicate commit myself to a term for every single day of the year 2013, taken from my terminology booklet, and bring it to life, embellish on it, add some photos and video that will help explain more than just what the term, a simple form of what the term may be, but to take it to a whole other level, and from my experience of being in racing my whole life. So that kind of sums it up.
Well, Frankie, we can relate here on HRTV because I believe our mission here on HRTV is to do the same thing, is to educate those fans, to allow them to feel more comfortable and have more interest in watching the races and knowing what's going on and the terminology, like you said. What kind of response have you had from fans? Any feedback?
Oh, it's been amazing, really amazing. People follow us on Facebook. Every term gets posted throughout our social media, which includes Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. And the fans have been coming out from all over the world. So it's not just here in the States. And in fact, when I have to do a term, I have to kind of cover that it may mean this, here in the States, but over in Europe or in Australia, for example, it could mean something a little bit different. So it's been an amazing response, and the neat part about it, as this series, it's in place. It's there for the public, anybody, to access very easily. Right now, they're posted on YouTube is the home base, but they're accessible to anyone, anytime. and there's going to be 365 of them.
Hey, Frankie, I hate to cut you off real quickly. We don't want you to go away. We've got a live race going on at Aqueduct. Can you stick around for a few moments?
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be right back with Frankie Lovato Jr. Right now, the first race from Aqueduct. We're joined by Frankie Lovato Jr. We've been talking about Jockey World. Frankie, again, just as a little cutback before we get back to the website, for folks who maybe didn't realize it, the Equicizer, and I had to remind myself of this, you were the one who invented the Equicizer. You got hurt, and you decided you needed a way to get fit again. Did you ever expect that something that you built would one day be a standard for the racing world?
Well, I think the neat part about it is, in hindsight of a reflection of my entire life, I would never think that the Equicizer may be my legacy. That it's taken on a life of its own. When I developed it, like you mentioned, it was back in the early '80s when I was recovering from a fractured leg and I needed rehab, and I couldn't find anything that could help me simulate riding other than a bale of straw. And I needed to get flexibility, strength, fitness back, and there's just nothing out there. There's no exercise, there's no rehabilitation apparatus or center that had anything that could simulate what I needed to do to ride. So that's what made me create it.
Just it seems that anything you touch, Frankie, turns to gold. And that Equicizer, I want to share a story with you because I know you will appreciate this. In regards to the Equicizer, we have one in the Jocks room at Santa Anita. And the kids from Bethany Christian, they were preschool kids, came out to Santa Anita and they all took a turn on the Equicizer as part of the tour around Santa Anita. And that was by far the most exciting thing that they did. They really enjoyed that. So again, you're educating and offering, you know, these young, hopefully future racing fans that experience and knowledge.
Yes, thank you so much. And it's true. I mean, people can have such an appreciation for the industry itself, but you know, when it comes to jockeys, a lot of people think, well, it kind of looks easy. Or they get on an Equicizer and do it for 10 seconds, and they think, oh my God, how can you do this?
Frankie, I think I would have had a heart attack. I did it. I did it over at the what was it? I think I did it over at the Racing Museum Hall of Fame in Saratoga.
I would pay to see that.
Oh no, I was told they took a picture of it, and I got a couple of jockeys actually on Facebook said you got good form, and I thought, well, it looks good in a freeze frame. Trust me, not so good after about a quarter
Wait till you get asked to change your stick from your left to your right hand.
I'm telling you. Hey, listen, is it true that you are still building those out of your house? Is that true?
Well, yeah, my shop is in my backyard. When I retired from racing in 2004, we relocated to small town Ohio. This is where my wife, Sandy Lovato, was born. Well, her maiden name is Sweet, but she was born in this small town, and this is where I wanted to kind of end my days in my golden years. And well, I'm not that old now, but it was jockey years I'm old. But
hey, you're younger than me, pal. Let's not get to about throwing age out.
But my shop's in my backyard, so that's my commute to work every day, is leaving my back door and then walking out about 65 feet to my shop, and I still manufacture the Equicizer and send them to riders all over the world, and including people that have disabilities. So it's really a neat thing.
Frankie, as far as Jockey's World is concerned and the terminology, you've got, I'm forgetting the dates in front of me right now, but I know we're getting close to the end of the year. Are you going to meet your goal of 365? And more importantly, in 2014, are you going to try to eclipse that number?
I don't think there's anything left of me. I think I'm going to need a vacation of some kind. The series, which was done by Kayla Jarvinen and myself, she's my assistant with my Jockey World projects. The undertaking, I cannot tell you, besides the actual work, the hours, the stress of having to deliver every single day a video that would meet the series. I don't see it happening. I don't know if I can do it. Who knows? I get a little bit of rest and I get very ambitious again. But I joke around with my assistant Kayla about it, and I get a very dirty look. But
Frankie, we really appreciate you taking the time. You know you're welcome on Race Day America and HRTV anytime you want to come on. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. Also to your assistant and your family, and happy holidays to all of you. And don't be a stranger.
Thank you, Pete. If anybody wants to catch up on the series or see it, they can go to jockeyworld.org.
All right. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thanks, Frankie.
Thank you all so much.
Frankie Lovato Jr. I was looking last night and I was reading about Jockey World, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me. I said, my God, that's right. He created the Equisizer.
Right.
I completely forgot.
I needed that, actually, the terminology little handbook when I first came out here to Hollywood Park. I worked for Ian Jury the first day of training. I'd just come over from England, and the terms are very different.
Say aluminum.
First day of training, he said to me...